channel of wealth. The more clearer the channel is operating within you, the more easier it is to be attentive, clear, concise, disciplined, and be in the position to move with precision towards wealth. Now, wealth runs along synonymously with wellness, W-E-L-L. And W-E-L-L also comes from the well, from which you go deep and pull out wealth. The channel of wealth, for the majority of times, is that you don't have no obstruction, no blockages, and you're not entertaining. There are people in this life who are given so much to a disease called spenditis. They rather spend than to take note that they don't have the money to spend. People who like to be in debt are lethal weapons against the flow of wealth. And should you find yourself in their environment, whether it be through friendship, whether it be through, you're just going to smile and we're all going to smile and all going to be nice and sweet and lovely, is that their very presence will, the stuff coming from them will prevent your channel, because they will be causing an influx of invisible information just by being around them, just by even knowing them. I've even discovered people, and I had one years ago that I met, and I never gave thought about it, because you notice, it's kind of crazy how hindsight is the best sight. Of course, it shouldn't really be that way in our life, but we usually learn our lessons until we experience them, right? Which the observer don't. The wise man who truly becomes wise is the one who learns a wisdom through observation, not through experience, right? Unfortunately, experience is something that we really shouldn't be seeking after. We need bad experiences to teach us how to become better. In the land of going along in your life, the more you keep it short with those who will block your channel, the longer will be the duration of your wealth. Guard your wealth more than you will guard someone else's reputation, or even guarding the whole aspect of socializing and having a good time. It doesn't matter. A rich man who is not given too much to avarice, is not given much to wild pleasures, will be more further in their life and will probably have much more better enjoyment with a different kind of pleasures, to be able to go sit somewhere on another side of the world and to be able to have that money because you are not willing to be compromised through your nature, through your character, through any part of you. You are able to probably sit with somebody who's on your level, okay? That if you were with just kind of moseying along, allowing this to happen, allowing that to happen, and watch your flow of wealth get stopped, then watch it happen again, then watch it stop, then it continues again. Your flow of wealth really matters to the wellness of your being. And the more well you are on the inside, the more willing you are to be well, okay, the more wealth will come after you, because it's synonymous. It's a relationship. It's a close tied relationship. It's more deeper than family. It's like blood. We have the chromosomes, and within blood, I think that's how it goes. But the fact is that all those things, all those genetic factors within the blood, all equals to blood. Without one, the other one can't operate correctly. White blood cells, red blood cells, and you get where I'm going with this, right? So the mix, it should be right. It should be always consistent and right for blood, for wealth to be. And wealth is so many ways, like what I just described there, as blood. If all the components are in place, wealth will automatically be flowing. You are a channel. You are the channel. Now, there's a big difference. The Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. The love, not money, the love of money. The thing is about people who love money, you get to know them. You'll find a lot of times they're hoarders. They're people about tick, 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 gimme, 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 gimme. They hang on very tightly. And these kinds of people have limiters within them. So they can't have a real flow of wealth. And if they have their wealth, okay, that wealth will never give them the freedom to live in the land of wellness because they're stuck in limitations of losing it. See, that's another thing about the flow of wealth. If you have a fear of loss and you're losing and you are in a state in your life, and I speak for myself too personally, you're in a state of losing is because you have permitted the losing gene in your environment or somehow to find its ability, and it does have an ability to come in. You enabled it somehow into your life. And you could have limiting factors. You could be your family members, you could be people that you know who talk lack. They don't talk not they don't talk about having, they talk about not having. They're very good, and people who stock up, especially. I had a situation where this person I know. I mean, I'm free. I'm free with my money. I'm a little bit too free. So I'm learning. I had to learn lessons about wealth. Who also teach you the lessons. If you get too free with your money, wealth will stop, and it will backtrack you and teach you the value of a dollar all over again before you learn the value of $10, $100, $1,000,000. It all counts because $1 equals, without that one, you don't end up with 1,000,000. You'll end up with less than 1,000,000, right? So you see where I'm going with this. Wealth has a fullness thereof, right? It's all consistent. And when you have the compromise enter into your life of those who are hanging on, like I said, I just had an experience recently where I asked for a bit of food and I was staying over to do something for this person. But the thing is that I picked up right away, and you learn this. You learn because the more aware you become of abundance, you pick up people's lack ability. And I use that because there's a difference between wealth ability, and lack ability. And lack ability people, okay, they have a certain aroma of fear that even if you ask for a little, they'll consider it's a whole lot they're given. They don't have free hands because they're afraid they think their freedom is in having, okay, instead of the freedom of they're always going to have. They're afraid to lose. They're afraid to lose. And I picked up right away that she had a problem with giving me some of her food. And even though, and she made a comment to the effect, "Oh, we're gonna let some of it melt downstairs." And it was some fruit for my cereal, right? But there was freezers downstairs. But she conveniently forgot that which she knows because she's a hoarder of food. She has freezers downstairs, but she conveniently forgot that because her wealth, which was found in the abundance of her stocking up, her lackability, was more important to her than her relationship to a guy who's basically pouring consistently into her life his time, his expertise, his monies. And I've given a lot of money to this person and in a lot of odd avenues. And it leaves you feeling a certain way. Now, that certain way that you are feeling is the feeling that I'm getting at. The lackability person has a feeling that associated to them. And if you're consistently paying attention to them, that feeling that you get from them is what blocks your flow of wealth. The further away you are from them, that feeling dissipates because that feeling is vibrations. It is frequency. It is low movement that is like a murky, a muddy spring finding its way through your well of wealth, and it starts to pollute it. And you find yourself stopping the flow just to clear up the well. See, the deeper you dig in your life, sometimes wealth will back off from you to get you to go deeper. Because lazy people don't dig deeper into the well of wealth. Shallow people find some wealth in their life, but the deeper, wealthier people, sometimes it takes years, sometimes it takes a long time in life before you get there. But I can guarantee you, once you get it and the flow is flowing and flowing and flowing, is because you have done the work to get rid of the stuff, the mud, the sticks, the stones, and all these things that's blocking the well. So I'll just leave you with that. Be very careful. Let your sensors be your guide, and be careful. And let God's wisdom be your sensors by which you detect those who are of lack. And lack, as I was saying about the love of money is the root of all evil. Greed, need, wanty, selfishness, all of these things are, all of these manners, people's personalities are blockers. They're so they're so constipated with lack that they haven't had a good dump of all that waste that's inside of them. And don't think for a moment, just by being around them, you're not going to start a smell of their lack, because it will. The more you pay attention to character, dignity, liquidity, and transparency, authenticity, wealth flows, because wealth is value, and wealth always finds itself peacefully rolling back and forth on the shores of white sand, of the shores of those who are well inside, because it's able to be consistently maintained, valued, and the amount of numbers on a dollar is an equation to the amount of value that's in your life. And when the two meet together, it is a perfect kiss. Have a good day. Like and subscribe. Thank you.